Daniel Dynamite Dubois knocks out Razvan Cajanu in 2 rounds. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Remstar Says So. Okay, let's get right into this. Ladies and gentlemen, hit like, hit subscribe, share this video, leave a comment underneath. Daniel Dubois gets over his one match knockout slump by taking out Razvan Cajanu in 2 rounds. Daniel Dubois looked sensational in this one, um, and he absolutely tore Cajanu to bits. Daniel Dubois might just be the real deal. But the good thing about Daniel Dubois is that where he does have a few sort of chinks in his armor, he's only 21 years old. Frank Warren was saying after this show tonight that Daniel Dubois is a baby, and on this occasion, I'm actually going to listen. That he's 21 years old. Daniel Dubois could have step up fights for the next 2 years, next 3 years, 4 years. It doesn't matter. He's only 21 years old. In his 10th fight, he took on former world heavyweight title challenger Razvan Cajanu, and he made easy work of him. Let's not forget that Cajanu, he ain't no pushover. He took Joseph Parker, who was then WBO world champion, the distance. Then Luis Ortiz knocked out Cajanu in 2 rounds. Daniel Dubois' stablemate went on to fight Razvan Cajanu and took him the distance over 12 rounds. But Dubois taking him out in 2 rounds today. So he's joined Luis Ortiz on that list of taking him out in 2 rounds. Daniel Dubois, I don't know. I think the trajectory of Daniel Dubois could be as fast or as short as they want it to be. I think that because he's so young, I think he should go through the old school traditional way where you go down the British route, then you go down the English route or whatever it is. Then you fight European, then international, then fringe. There's absolutely no reason to rush him. He's not Joe Joyce. Daniel Dubois could be a sensational talent. And the fact is, if he's happy to sort of wait in the wings a little bit, um, you know, he can sort of bide his time and come in and sort of clean out the division unless anybody else sort of comes along in between then. It was a great fight. Daniel Dubois put his punches together. There was a little bit of sort of criticism where some of the commentators thought that he might have been sort of throwing low blows. I think there was only really one low blow, and the rest of them was sort of on the belt line, which is legal. I don't really think it would have mattered regardless. I think Daniel Dubois was going to take him out. And I think Daniel Dubois was looking at making a statement. Razvan Cajanu, he is definitely a gatekeeper now with 4 losses on the bounce. 2 come in by decision, 2 via knockout. Luis Ortiz and Dubois knocking him out. Nathan Gordman and Joseph Parker sort of beating him on points. I think Frank Warren would definitely do well to sort of keep him around, or even the likes of Eddie Hearn to sort of test your upcoming fighters. Don't be surprised if you see the likes of a Joe Joyce getting in there now with a Daniel Dubois just to see what the levels are. Who would I like Daniel Dubois to fight next? Well, to be fair, I don't really care. Daniel Dubois can fight whoever he wants to. As I said, he's only had 10 fights. I don't know that many of the world champions today, if any, has fought a former world titleist who wasn't knocked out and went the distance with his opponent after only 10 fights. You know, I think Frank Warren's doing a great job right now with Dubois, and I think Daniel Dubois can only just get better and better and better. Why would we want to rush this young child, this young kid in a boxing terminology, into a world title shot? I mean, he's young enough that he could probably challenge a few times, even if he lost, but what's the point? Daniel Dubois might as well learn his trade. I think he had a great fight today. What I would like to see is maybe see Dubois in like a 12 rounder, um, maybe for like an English or a British title or something like that. Um, I know he won the vacant European heavyweight title, WBO European title. But if they were going to look at stepping him up, You know, there's guys like Ajit Cabial out there. I know for a fact Huey Fury would not get in the ring with this guy. You know, cross promotional fights, the likes of Dave Allen, Dave Price, if Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn could sort of come together with an agreement. And I'm sure Al Heyman's probably got a couple of bums laying around. You might see Daniel Dubois fighting Bermain Stavern in his next fight. I don't think Al Heyman would get in the way of that if the money was good enough. So yeah, there's a few fights out there for Daniel Dubois, but realistically, I'm not going to complain whoever the opponent is, regardless of the quality. I think that Daniel Dubois can map out his career how he sees best because he's a young lad, and there's no point rushing him into anything. Let me know your thoughts. How did you sort of think he compared? Obviously, we know that Nathan Gorman went the distance and Daniel Dubois knocked him out. And obviously, he's got a knockout back under his belt after going to points in his last fight. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment. You're watching Remstar Says So.